welcome to episode 59 of the ADHD. This is
okay. Let's start again.
Yeah. No. We're just going to carry on.
Wow.
Don't vocalize every thought. Don't. That isn't. Remember that it's an audio medium.
For those that think this might be the most shambolic start to an episode, we're 15 minutes in and we still haven't managed to actually start. So again, welcome to episode 59 of the ADHD Adults podcast. I'm James Brown. Alex has changed the script. The one who burned his hair from too much bleaching. And as usual, I'm joined by the man who thinks Burnout is a game on the Nintendo Entertainment System. That was a game system in the 90s, Alex, if you're aware of cultural reference points from them. Dr. Alex Connor. Alex, hi.
It's me, Mario.
Right. We're also joined by...
What the fuck was that?
We're also joined.
His greetings. I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're also joined by, checking notes, the apple of my eye, Mrs. ADHD. Sam, hi.
Hello.
I'll start with you first. How are you?
Emotional. I've been crying this morning because I couldn't get the microphone to work and I couldn't do any of the things, and you had to do everything for me as usual.
I think it's important because I'm often seen as the nasty one. Who was bullying you, Sam? Which one of the two of us was bullying
Alex, you? As I was crying, you left the room and he said, while James has left the room, let me just tell you that you're right to cry because you do everything wrong and James has got burnout because of you.
And I did the crying face, didn't I?
And she did the crying face, yeah.
Brilliant.
I don't remember it was recorded.
The nice one.
And Alex, how are you?
I'm excellent, thank you, as always. Very nice to be here. Somehow, we've managed to ruin a perfectly good running joke by getting above the lovely Gabby Logan in the podcast charts, which makes no sense. Thanks a lot, Logan.
It's temporarily above. I think she's back above us already.
Oh, yeah, it was for one day, but it did ruin the joke. I think it's because an increasingly large number of people seem to have a preference for, genuinely poor quality ADHD podcasts. One of whom sent us a letter, James and Sam.
So, just do you keep these letters? Have you got a box somewhere of letters?
Yeah.
And then
got a whole imaginary filing cabinet.
Yeah, about to say, and it's in Germany, so that Dad knows to send them there and not to Northfield, which it wasn't Harborne, by the way. Northfield.
Bourneville. I lived in Bourneville.
Bourneville, okay. Anyway, a letter, Al. Oh.
That's right, James. It's from a Robert from Kidderminster. It says, I know. It says, I listened to your pain episode, and James doesn't really get migraines. He just wears his bubble hat too tight. Thanks, James. Everyone noticed that, so I appreciate it.
I actually don't own a bobble hat, but I used to, proudly. So he probably is remembering a time in the past.
We have been sent a real letter. It was from. It's actually an open letter from Instagram, so I'm allowed to confidently say that this one's from Mr. Appalling Behaviour 84. What did you say, Sam?
An open letter. What does that mean? Did they not sign off?
Publicly available. Like a Twitter post or an Instagram or anything like that. When people write to you, still.
So
it's not a letter. Just a post. Carry on.
I mean, almost none of them are letters apart from the ones from Robert.
which aren't letters.
Which coincidentally are not letters either.
They are. They've got a seal, like a wax seal on them.
What have I done?
I don't know.
It's okay, carry on.
Anywho,
what the fuck?
The letter is from Mr. Appalling Behaviour 84, not his real name, and they wrote, I received my diagnosis yesterday, combined ADHD with the emphasis on inattentiveness. 98% on cars. I feel so much better now that I have the information and start medication on Monday. Here's to the new chapter. Thanks, guys. You've been my guides through this tumultuous period of my life, and it was just nice.
Sam, again, remember this is a medium in which people can hear when you're doing things wrong and saying, "Oh fuck, oh shit, what have I done?" All of that cuts across Alex's poignant reading out of a message where somebody's just received their ADHD diagnosis and immediately.
Oh God, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. All I heard was he'd had something about cars.
It's the Connors ADHD rating scale.
Yeah, we use pathos as a rhetoric device. And
I don't even know what that is.
no, you should read On Rhetoric by Plato. It's good. And what we
I
do
don't even know
is
what I've done here.
we play with emotions. So what we're doing is we're giving genuinely, this made James feel like crying, this letter, because it was so important.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. Do you want to read it again? Because I've ruined it.
No, everyone else heard it, Sam.
Oh, did say? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So we're also still growing internationally. Very happy to say we've reached 134 countries, James. 134, one more than last week. And the new country, well, the name of a country is Gabon.
I mean, yeah, I mean, there is a country called Gabon, but you've got no.
Where is it?
Africa, Sam.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. Gabon.
Yeah, so you've derailed that, so I'll just leave that. Back to you, El. Back to you, El.
Oh my God, I'm ruining everything today.
Today?
Oh, I knew you were going to say that as well, because it's true.
Samantha, it's all okay. Everything's fine. No, it's not.
It's interesting that we've got up by one country again. It says here, you cock. Oh, that's James. We are, of course, both bewildered and grateful to all of our listeners. So this week, we'd like to say a big, oh dear, mbebe meso to our Fang-speaking Gabonese listener, Dave.
Oh,
Dave.
Hi, Dave. Yeah.
Okay, as usual, this pair of working underpants purchased from ASOS, which have clearly been worn before of a podcast, is a tragedy in 3 parts. We choose a theme. Last week we talked about pain, and it was painful to record, and it's painful to record this today. But this week we're focusing on something that lots of people have asked for. So thanks to all those people that asked for it, who I've forgotten to give credit to, and that's ADHD burnout. As usual, the 3 parts include some evidence-based psychoeducation about ADHD burnout delivered by the Carl Pilkington of ADHD, Alex the Psychoeducation Monkey, our personal reflections on burnout, and then the third and final bit will be top tips / spunk trumpeting. So, Alex, I am actually burnt out at the minute, and my patience is very, very low. So far away with your bollock chopped nonsense.
Thanks, James. Right, burnout is known as sometimes emotional exhaustion or emotional exhaustion syndrome. It's a state of physical or emotional exhaustion, obviously, that can it can give you involve a sense of reduced accomplishment, loss of identity or personal identity, often related to work, but it can be due to overcommitment kind of anywhere. It's been linked to abnormally increased sensitivity to stress or tension, and that's something that is also very, very well observed in adults with ADHD. The persistent hyperactivity in ADHD, in many people with ADHD, and that's combined with the way that we might be inclined to people please, probably due to RSD, that can easily lead to emotional exhaustion and poor work performance.
Which is ironically what your CV is known as. I just want to point out, I think Sam also forgets that this is a visual medium and people are watching on YouTube. And for the last, I don't know, minute when Alex has been saying that, her face looked like Dougal from Father Ted. As she looked confusingly at the screen because whatever she's done wrong on her computer, she's not sure what it is. Are you Mrs. ADHD?
Whatever tab she's got open.
I can't see you, and I didn't know what I've done, so I'm just leaving it. I don't need to see you, do I? So yeah, I was just looking to see if I could work it out, but I can't work it out. But also, as well, I was realizing that when I said to you yesterday, oh, am I on the podcast this week? What are we doing? And you said burnout, and I said burnout. I don't know anything about that. And then when Al was just speaking, then I was like, oh my God, yeah, I know all about that. Yeah, it all resonates.
I want to point out as well, James, she doesn't just look like Father Dougal. She also keeps turning around and looking quizzically at behind her. And I don't know why. I don't want an explanation. Just pointing out that it's on YouTube.
Have I got a background though?
Yeah, you have.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So burnout is emotional exhaustion, and it can mean poor work performance.
What?
Oh God! And then I'll repeat the gag, also known as Alex's CV.
we did a thing. We did a
I trod on it this time because I was just so enamored with Father Dougal there looking confusingly at the screen. So Alex, please continue.
You're really trying to compare the CVs, James, in this script. Your CV says, I bought a blue tick off Elon Musk when they were $20. That's all it says.
You fucking hate the fact that I've got a blue tick and I didn't have to pay for it.
That's the only person loving.
Welcome to the news by Mrs. ADHD, who's clearly been following what's happened on Twitter in the last
I don't
couple
do
of
Twitter.
weeks.
It's overwhelming for me. I don't do Facebook. I don't do Twitter. Actually, I've realised that I really need to do Facebook because I'm supposed to be looking after it. And I never go on there because I hate it and I need to. So
have you realised this outside of recording a podcast in a studio?
I keep forgetting that we're doing a podcast. I think I'm just having a chat or just listening while you two do a podcast, which is actually what I'm doing.
Just listening, not contributing in any way. Just listening. I think your voice has been heard more than either of ours, to be honest. So,
really?
Yeah, Alex, do you want to
signs that you are burnt out include the sound of my voice right now. They include lack of motivation, exhaustion, poor performance again, pain, irritability, emotional dysregulation. Even in people who are lucky enough to have a career that they find rewarding, adults with ADHD can even become hyper-focused on that. And that means it's really important to be aware of when the potential for workaholism in some adults with ADHD can lead to burnout. So burnout is known to affect how we function. And like any stress at all, stress itself, the burnout itself, can send ADHD symptoms like wild.
Not peacefully wild like your head.
I love peaceful wildness.
Don't side with him.
I really like it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, you would though, wouldn't you? Because you're never peaceful and you're always fucking wild. Alex.
Now, looking into actual research of ADHD and burnout, not very much, of course, not very much in any of this. Is the one study in the sort of related issue, psychiatric issue of sluggish cognitive tempo, so slowness of thought, really, which we'll cover in a future episode, and has been compared to inattentive type ADHD. So psychiatrists, James, that's proper doctors, with this sluggish cognitive tempo, were more emotionally exhausted, regardless of whatever therapeutic approach, than the actual psychiatrists without SCT. So it's the psychiatrists with it. Another study looking at people who were pharmacists, like healthcare professionals in general, they're the only one researchers ever ask in these studies. We need some scientists. We'll use pharmacists. So pharmacists with either autistic-like traits and ADHD-like symptoms have an increased risk of psychological distress and burnout. So
you're just jealous that it's not going to work, this joke, is it? I think you got bits of that wrong. He read a bit of the script. You could tell he was confused, and now this joke isn't going to work. So yeah, so
dare you.
Exactly. So Sam, if you just go to your bit now, because that'll be funny, maybe. Sam doesn't know a bit, and Alex, now you've got to respond to Sam's bit. So Alex, if you can respond to Sam's bit, that'll be brilliant. I don't know what the fuck you're going to say, but just respond to it.
I'm sorry, I hadn't got the script up. I wasn't paying attention.
When we look at the study population, a study in social workers, that other group, reported that there was a link between ADHD symptoms and burnout as well, and also self-esteem and depression. I think that was probably flawless.
I can't imagine that anybody would find anything in that first section less than professional. But as speaking of someone who is burnt out, I'm now more burnt out than I was. I'm not joking, 30 minutes ago, because the first 15 minutes of this was
28 minutes ago.
Yeah, horrendous. So we'll take a break. I'm probably going to go and burn Mrs. ADHD, and we'll see you in part 2.
Bye.
Alex, hi.
Aight. What's up? Hello, Governor.
Hello and welcome back to episode 59 of the ADHD Adults, where we're talking about ADHD and burnout. This is part 2, where we inexpertly reflect personally on our personal reflections of burnout. James, reflect personally.
There was a tone in that which I didn't like. Okay, but burnout. It's good timing, this, isn't it, Alex? And I'm sure in Thursday's episode
It
when
really
we
is,
talk
actually.
about, thank you, Mrs. ADHD. I'm sure in Thursday's episode when we talk about why we chose this scene, we'll get into this. But in the last couple of weeks, for the first time, I've genuinely understood what burnout is because of what's going on with Robert from Kidderminster. It's for me, it's you're almost running at 100 miles an hour because of external reasons. Often you're trying to please other people, you're trying to do everything, you're trying to make sure that you're seen as being capable at your job or that you're keeping the chaotic household going. And eventually, when you stop running at 100 miles an hour, for me, that's when burnout hits. It's almost like that my adrenaline can keep me going, but then you came around the other day, didn't you? And I sat down in the chair, and it was like the life was sucked out of me. Ding. And I couldn't talk, I couldn't function.
No,
didn't you? You said, I'm not sitting down. I kind of made you.
You did, you fucker. And then as soon as I sat down, and then because the pressure that puts on my ADHD, I had a meeting about 45 minutes after I sat down, and I went, oh, you know what, I'll have the meeting here. Got my laptop out, couldn't find the charger, knew it had no charge, and was like, fuck, I've got to go back to Robert from Kidderminster's house and have this meeting. Got there, it was in my bag, just didn't see it, so didn't need to have gone back. But it sends all of my symptoms wild, from inattentiveness. My family, for the first time, have really seen my ADHD because I've spent the last few days over in Kidderminster, and every 30 seconds it's, where have I put my fags? Where's I've made a cup of tea, I've just put it down somewhere. And for them, they've not seen that because I used to mask, and I've not spent a lot of time around there because I've been burning myself out for the last 6 months, working 7 days a week. But I think back to academia, Alan, I'm sure it would have been, no, actually it wouldn't have been the same for you because you were fucking lazy, weren't you?
What do you mean?
Until Birmingham. No, actually, as soon as he started wearing the Gareth Southgate suit at Birmingham, he did increase his professionality. I know.
Why are we doing this? I thought we were teasing Sam today.
Oh, we will be, don't worry. But Sam always used to laugh at this and then give me derision. That I would always say, yeah, but in 2 weeks it'll quieten down. 2 weeks from now things quieten down. And obviously that never ever happened. And one of the reasons that I even got an ADHD diagnosis was because the first term when I taught at Aston University, I was working 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, sat in a room having to record lectures, deliver lectures to a screen. And I was absolutely burnt out. And it was when I stopped again, and it was the first day where there was no teaching and I didn't have much to do, that my life fell apart, that I was emotionally exhausted, I was physically exhausted, and I had a mental health crisis. It's so difficult at times because of our self-esteem to think about self-care anyway. But during those periods when I am trying to do everything and also not relinquishing control of stuff, not because I don't think people can do it, but because I feel like I've got to do it. Again, over in Kidderminster, looking after Robert. My brother Nick's there. I'm not sure he'll be listening, but hi, Nick. He's got a broken leg at the minute, and I'm trying to look after him. He's my big brother, but I'm trying to say, well, can I get you a hot water bottle? Can I get you some painkillers? Which my prescribed painkillers shouldn't really be doing that or talking about it. Can I look after you? And it's like I just have to look after everybody, but not myself. And then I get to the point where, I haven't slept for 2 nights. I slept last night, but before that, I hadn't slept for 2 nights, and I was beyond running on fumes. And I genuinely, viscerally now understand what ADHD burnout is. Alex.
And yet, when I came round to yours the other day, before you sat down, I made you make me 2 cups of tea.
You did, yeah, you did. And then sat me down, probably just to see how tired I got. What was that, Mrs. ADHD?
I said Alex is a fucking psychopath. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said like a bat, and I thought you were joining in on Alex's
like
vampire.
A bat out of hell.
So should we get this out of the way, Alex? Because I feel like it's going to be a recurring thing. We were doing some filming this week, and the last time we did some filming for an organisation, the first time I did some filming, the feedback I got was he looks dead. So we decided to put some makeup on me, and then a friend, Jenny, said, no, let's put more on. And Sam had got it just about right. And then I looked like Dale Winton. It was, you know, white neck, orange face. So this time before we did some filming, I thought, let's just mute it down a bit. I bought some makeup. I quite liked wearing it, Alex. You saw me putting it on, and people saw us in a dressing room on Instagram. But then when I put it on, it was maybe too light in tone. And
what was platinum hair as well?
Yeah, and so Alex decided that I looked like one of the shit vampires out of whatever that sparkly shit vampire film was.
Twilight.
Exactly.
And let me just be clear, not just one of them. One of them that they got to too late, way past his prime, and then they're just embarrassed of.
So then it's now a thing now, and you're gonna hear it. So I thought I'd just get it out of the way because it's shit. Anyway, Alex, tell us about your burnout.
Well, it started today when I started recording the podcast. No, it's a really good one. I think the problem I have, and I'm hoping this will relate, is that I can't spot it until it's too late, always. And it's fucking annoying. And then I reflect on it, or I take a break, usually enforced in, you know, a secure unit, essentially. That's not true. But, you know, at my own secure unit, I have to take a full break from everything. And I've usually properly exploded by then and been an angry twat and gaslit, maybe even had inappropriate emotional responses to, well, everybody demands this all the time. And actually, none of the things I thought were real with hindsight were real. None of the things I thought I wanted. Everybody wants all of the, I don't know, talisman. I don't know. It could be anything. It could be nonsense. And so I get really, I let it build up and I don't see it. And I'm wired by it and I'm not nice. And it's like a panic attack that isn't one where I think my heart rate's going up. Go on, Jake.
I'm sorry. I've just noticed I haven't changed the social media link on the top of the screen. So it's got the wrong. Yeah, sorry, Al.
Yeah, we have changed that. We'll throw it in Thursdays. It'll be fine. Something to talk about.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. This is the difference, and I think this might be an ADHD thing. It might not be. The lazy thing at Warwick, the burnout I get the most is when, in fact, I don't feel that I'm actually busy at the things I'm good at. Because I've got a head full of bees, because I can't ever relax. I have to be busy at something. So when I'm busy at things that other people value, I'm not very good at, and I can't do them because of the thing. I procrastinate, and I do it badly, or I don't do it, and I say I will. You don't relax then, do you? It's like at school. If you think you should be revising and you're not, that for me is my ADHD burnout, and it's absolutely horrible. That's when I get it the worst. When I'm not even sure that's burnout, but it's the thing that reflected on me.
I can tell from Alex my message pretty much every day. I can tell when you're burnt out, and it's not that you don't reply. It's what you reply with. I can just tell that you've from exactly that, from either the fact that you're having to do stuff that isn't necessarily stuff you find rewarding, but you're having to do lots of it. I can tell by the tone and the text. Yeah, exactly. Mrs. ADHD, tell us about burnout. Or don't.
Sorry,
you know, or don't.
Sorry, I was just thinking about what Alex was saying then, because that really, and again, I don't know if it's related to burnout, but that's when I suffer the most, actually. When if I'm doing things that I'm good at or I enjoy, I can take on so much. You could just keep piling it up, and I'm loving it because I feel like I can actually do it. But if it's things that and it can just be simple little things, but if I get little simple things built up at work and I don't know how to deal with them, I can completely lose it then. But I don't think that's burnout. What were you going to say, James?
What I was going to say was the danger is what visual medium, Sam. What I was going to say was the thing you said about actually stuff that you get reward from and you're good at and you can let it all build up. There is a danger that will lead to burnout eventually.
Oh, it does. Yeah, definitely does. Yeah. No, I was going to get onto that. Could you give us some examples, Sam? Yes. So for me, my burnout is, and you're right, actually. So the things that I really enjoy, I keep taking more and more and more on and thinking, this is brilliant. I love this. I love helping people because I love helping people like you like looking after people. So at work, I just volunteer for everything. And then people say, oh, Sam, help me with this. She can help you as well. And I end up doing loads of random shit for loads of random people. And I love it. But then it gets so much that I literally feel like I can't breathe. And then I just completely lose it. And I end up just doing nothing because I just can't cope with it anymore. And it's the same in my social life. People like spending time with me for some reason. So I try and spend time with as many people as I can. And I'm running around from place to place to place trying to spend, and it's never enough time. They're going, oh, why are you going? Oh, I'm going off on a tangent now. I'm sorry. But that's what burns me out, is trying to please people. And especially, and I think I get more burned out in my personal life, trying to spend time with people and give myself to people. And then
ding.
Yeah. And is that, I don't think I've had it then. Is that a psychopath thing that I just
know? Yeah, and nobody likes you, so you don't go around and see people.
Spend time with you.
But that wouldn't be something I would consider a positive anyway, would it? But when I do them things like murdering and so on, it seems I don't think I have it. I think there is no limit to the good things. It's kind of the problem. I get told off for it.
But it might just be you haven't reached that. Obviously, we've all got different bars, if you like, or capacities. My capacity for dealing with you two is obviously very fucking low, but there are people out there that seem to like you. And
but they don't have to do everything for us and put up.
No, but it's not. But it's not just that. Like, so the tour the tour I'm doing, Al. You know the tour, don't you? Yeah, that tour, don't you? Yeah, the tour I'm doing, Al.
Blue tick.
Need that,
yep. So audio medium, Sam.
Sorry.
Lots of people, I think, have bought tickets because they think you're going to be there, which astonishes me. And people are asking, is Alex going to be there? Which I find infuriatingly fucking annoying.
I know somebody asked me the other day, can Alex get us a ticket to one of these talks? One of James's talks.
And even more annoyingly, Alex has managed to shoehorn himself into the Bristol talk, which is now sold out. So obviously that really fucking annoys me that's probably the first one to sell out. And Mrs. ADHD is hopefully going to be there as well, etc. But I just think maybe we all have a different capacity for taking stuff on. I always thought mine was quite high. And I think, to be fair, it might be. It's just the last 7 weeks have been ludicrous. But getting back to Sam's point about how it can be social, look at the list of symptoms again: lack of motivation, exhaustion, poor performance, pain, irritability, emotional dysregulation. Most of those, when Sam has done that thing of trying to please everybody, that's the Sam that I get back. Not that I'm criticizing it, because obviously I do love you in a way. But that's the Sam that I get when she is giving to everybody else. I get the exhausted, unmotivated, irritable, kind of teary Sam because of burnout. Yes, Al?
It's possible this is because I've got a bit of self-esteem. You know, I practice sort of care. I practice self-love.
Oh, God, that could be it.
Ding. Yeah, Sam and I have got like zero self. The only reason we're with each other is we both think the other one's better than us and that we're shit. Which is
both right.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Weird and helpful. And there's certainly, if you're not people pleasing all the time, which we do, constantly trying to help others rather than ourselves, that level of self-esteem may protect you from your burnout being caused by feeling you have to help other people, do things for other people, because otherwise they'll think you shit. I think that's perfectly valid.
No, that's so true, because actually I don't care about myself at all. So I'll always put myself last. I'll always put everybody else before me because they're more important. So and then I don't take care of myself. I don't drink or eat or do the things that I need to do because it's more important to me that everybody else is happy. And actually, I'll make myself unhappy to make sure that other people are happy.
Apart from me.
From you.
Yeah, you do look after yourself a bit, don't you? I mean, you self-tanning, which we'll pick up on Thursday, is something that you do, isn't it, Sam? But not something you do well. Listen to the Thursday episode to hear about Sam's approach to using.
We'll forget to talk about it on Thursday.
Oh no, we really fucking won't. We really won't. Right, it's time for a game, Alex. Now, Sam, you will know the answers to all these, so don't join in for now. So you've got two choices, Al. After you finally pick laptops, you've got sleep and you've got guitars.
Oh, I like it.
Do
I'll
I
have
know
sleep,
these?
please.
You have sleep. Okay.
Yeah.
So Sam, remember audio medium, and if you also visual. So if
Yes.
there's one that you think it's right, don't nod because he'll pick up on that. So I mentioned. So we'll get on to the game. So I mentioned that I didn't sleep for 2 nights. I slept last night wonderfully, but for 2 nights before, no sleep. Obviously over at Kidderminster helping look after Robert. Now he's out at Kidderminster. But what's the reason that I didn't sleep the second night? The first night was I was on a camp bed next to Dad and helping him throughout the night. But the second night I didn't sleep. So reason one was it because I bought an alarm system where he presses a button and a ding noise happens somewhere else in the house. Was it because I within 2 hours of it arriving, I lost the receiver for this alarm button and therefore had to stay up all night in case he needed help? That's reason one. I lost the speaker for this.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No need to apologize, man. I think people like you. One of the reasons they like you, or maybe the only reason they like you, is because of the chaos. I mean, your background says the Queen of Chaos, which is pretty much you, isn't it? Anyway,
isn't that Ozzy Osbourne, James?
Yeah. So should we quickly dig into that? So we decided to call Sam the Queen of Chaos. And what did you say to that, Sam?
You told me that this morning. I said, "Oh my God, so I'm basically Ozzy Osbourne." And you said, "That's not his name." I said, "His name's not Ozzy Osbourne." It is Ozzy Osbourne. I know because I used to do his sister's hair, Joan. She was lovely.
Yeah. And then I said,
"Oh,
no,
Jossie."
Yeah, and I said, "No, he's the Prince of Darkness."
And actually, he's got ADHD as well.
Yeah,
no, he has. He has.
No, I know, but you just.
Oh, what?
Nothing. No. I'm very tired still.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyway, no. Don't apologize. This is brilliant.
I don't even know what I've done, to be honest.
You haven't done anything. This is just
is
the
that
frustration.
The problem?
No.
No, you have done something.
I have. He's just been nice.
No.
Yes, when you interrupt a punchline with vocalism.
Oh, did I? I didn't even realise.
But basically, working with you two is the most frustrating thing I've ever done in my life, and I've done a lot of bad. I'm working, I used to work on the monkey, the drive-through monkey thing at the West Midlands Safari Park, and my only job was to sit on a chair, and twice a day, all the monkeys would try and get out. So they would run towards the gate. Yeah, and my job was to close these 2 gates while 400 monkeys were running at me and then hide in a hut. And
oh God, that's awful.
And I swear to God, this is worse than that, Sam.
Yeah.
So imagine 8 days, all you're doing is sitting on a chair waiting for 400 monkeys to run at you.
Oh my God.
And this is worse than that. Anyway, back to the game. So why was it I didn't sleep for the second night? Option 1 was I lost the speaker for Robert from Kidderminster's alarm. Option 2 was I forgot to bring my quilt and pillow over, so I didn't have a quilt and pillow to sleep with on the bed. I can see Sam is desperately trying to control her facial expressions. And option 3 was I lost my clonazepam, which I'm clearly addicted to, and therefore couldn't sleep for that night.
Oh, good. Ooh, that's a good one. I think that if you... The quilt and pillow, it's not that, because you got enough padding. You can just... like an orangutan in Borneo. You see what I'm doing? I don't think it's clonazepam, because if anybody loses drugs, it isn't you. So I think you lost the alarm thing, especially because...
I'm sorry, I was getting really impatient and wanted to just tell you the answer.
Imagine like on X Factor or something.
Yeah. Do you think
wrong?
Do you think,
get off.
Do you think you're right, Al? Do you think you've got that right?
50-50. I mean, it could be, to be honest.
So you'll be surprised to hear that you're wrong. I actually did. Yeah, it is the clonazepam. So I took one the night before and still didn't sleep because I was right next to Dad and had to do lots of stuff. And then the next night, I thought I'll sleep in one of the upstairs rooms with the speaker, which I still had plugged in. Then he can press his button and I'll get up. And then I couldn't find my clonazepam, and I searched for hours for it. Tried drinking a shitload of brandy to knock myself out, but I just lay there drunk all night. And then The next morning when I went to drive home, I found it in a bag with a used pair of pants in the boot of my car.
Good God.
Exactly. Anyway, Jesus Christ.
No wonder you look like a haunted vampire beanbag, is it?
B-man.
Soy boy beta cock, are you saying?
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it. That's why I didn't say anything else. I left that open for you.
Well, I mean, that you're definitely learning, and we know you don't learn.
You are welcome.
Right. Okay.
I'm getting more professional.
No. Let's not do that. The chaos you bring is probably why the episodes with you on for some confusing reason tend to do better than the episodes without. So I need a break, and we'll be back.
See you later.
We'll be back in a minute. Bye.
Bye.
Spunk trumpet.
Is that what you just said?
No, it didn't. No,
okay,
the opposite.
The
opposite is true.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
No, we've started. So welcome back to part 3 of episode 59 of the ADHD Adults podcast, where we're talking about ADHD burnout. Alex, for our spunk trumpeting / top tips, what have you got?
It's a tough one, this. I can't speak from experience. It appears that I'm too lazy. Was it, James? Lazy to have burnout? What I would say, though, is I think that a lot of it comes from what we've talked about, which is self-perception, self-care. And I think that the main thing is the danger of people's Instagram appearance in inverted commas, James, or rabbit ears. I think it can drive people to unrealistic expectations of themselves. So everyone comparing their own inside to other people's outsides is the issue. Think, who are they really? You know, they go home and they're burnt out too, and it's a race to the bottom. Comparing yourself to James, for example, who looks like the Twilight vampire bit Tintin, isn't helpful.
Well, maybe it is actually, because you'd feel better about yourself if you compared yourself to James.
Oh, that's a good point, actually.
Yeah. Anyway, carry on.
The other top tip is divorce, but that is a very specific top tip. What about you, James?
So I actually quite like that. We're going to get Hannah Walker-Brown on for an episode very soon, and one of the things we want to talk about, almost as a theme, is the amount of people that say to her, but you've got your shit together. And it's that thing, actually, that most of us fucking haven't. Even though we may have a professional, external social media, a good job, etc., very few of us have got our shit together. And that's right. If you're looking at someone and saying, I'm burnt out, but they've got a, I don't know, great career or something, they aren't. Believe me, they probably are at some point. Top tips. So this is from somebody, obviously, who over the last 7 months has done none of these things in any way. So my top tips are: first, self-care. I had my first bath for 2 days last night, and my urine was so
already.
It is, yeah, it is amazing, isn't it? It comes around so fast. I also had a piss the other morning, and my urine was so brown because I hadn't drunk anything for about 12 hours before. I'm not sure that that's a double entendre sound. I'm not sure that my piss was so brown because I hadn't drunk anything 12 hours before.
I think I was thinking about the thing that you said before, but I can't remember what it was now.
Okay.
Carry on talking about piss.
Again, it's all about timing. Yeah. So what I would say is, and again, this is something I clearly haven't done for the last 7 weeks, is to learn the positive no. This is something that we use in coaching, which is if somebody asks you to do something and you don't want to, or you haven't got the capacity, but you feel like, oh God, I can't say no. I don't want them to think less of me. I don't want to hurt their feelings. The positive no is a way, and it's constructed into 3 parts. The positive no is a way of saying no, but letting people know that they're important to you and you'd like to do it. So if somebody says, oh, can you wash the car for me? Can you chair this meeting? Can you deal with Alex's superbly round face for a podcast instead of me? Then what you can do is you can say, oh, right. The first thing is to almost repeat what they've said. Oh, I understand you want me to deal with Alex's perfectly round face. And the second part is, unfortunately, I can't because I'm too busy doing something else. And then you offer an alternative, which is maybe I can do that in the future. And a positive no then stops people from feeling like you're rejecting them or hurting them, but it also stops you from having to say yes to everything. So if you can use a positive no, use it. And then the last thing, and this is related to self-care, is this is something that Alex taught me, which I completely stole, and which is the oxygen mask analogy. And that's, when you're on a plane and they do go through the safety instructions, and Mrs. ADHD will know this as she used to be cabin crew, is they say when the oxygen masks drop, put yours on first. And that's really important, because you can't look after the people around you if you're not looking after yourself. Which is why I actually last night came home and had a night's sleep, because if I didn't have another night's sleep, I'd be fuck all used to Robert from Kidderminster. Sam, tell us about burnout and how it's affected you.
Before you do, Sam, can I just point out that he said that I taught him that and he didn't caveat it with anything, which I will be printing out in the morning.
Fuckity fuck sticks.
Okay. Tips am I giving? Yeah.
So, you've listened to 58 episodes of the podcast, don't you, Sam?
Have you really heard them?
I have heard, apart from the last one, I've listened to them all.
Yeah, so you've listened to 57 episodes of the podcast, and you understand that, as I say at the start of the podcast, it's a tragedy in 3 parts. We start off with some poorly delivered psychoeducation by Alex, the Psychoeducation Monkey. Then we give our personal reflections on the theme, and the last part, we either joke that it's spunk trumpeting, or we say is our top tips.
I thought the last part was the game. No, I honestly did.
Do you not listen past the game?
No, I do. I must just zone out at the end or something. I don't know.
Anyway,
top tips from me. Haven't really got any, to be honest. But, okay, I have maybe. I don't know.
On the evidence-based.
Talk to people. Not evidence-based at all. But it's hard if you don't know that you're burning out. But if you do, talk to people and say, listen, I need a bit of support, because, I'm terrible at this. I cannot do this at all. But if you can, do it.
Yeah. Then you wouldn't be burnt out in the first place.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I haven't got any tips. I don't know.
Well, to be fair, mine are normally shit, aren't they? So
having
two objectively bad sets of top tips and one kind of fair to middling top tips, but delivered in the Utoxeter accent. This is probably why, if you look at the listening statistics, it does tend to drop off in this part. We get about 20% of people have stopped listening by this point. So thanks to that 20% of people. Well, you're not listening, so fuck you, basically. Doesn't matter. But the 80% that are still listening are now just confused and bored. So I'm going to drag this to a conclusion, because, brilliant. So product recommendation of the week is a smartwatch. Now, you don't have to go and get, as I did, an Apple Watch, not realizing you were paying £24 a month for it, that it has a SIM card in that you can use it for phoning people. So for the last year and a half, I haven't used any of the things I'm paying for on this watch. You don't have to get an expensive watch. You can get one for 30 quid that has pretty much the same functionality. And the benefit of that is when you set reminders and they're on your phone, sometimes Mrs. ADHD and my phones are always on silent, but if you've got a smartwatch on, it will vibrate and tell you that reminder. So for self-care, if you're doing something for a long period of time and you've set in a have a drink, have a break, eat something reminder, your watch will vibrate and it will give you even if your phone's off, a reminder that you do need to take a break. So that's our product recommendation.
Like that.
Thanks, Sam. That was our product recommendation of the week. And that brings us to the end, thank God, of episode 59 of the ADHD Adults podcast, where we talked about, at some point, probably burnout and ADHD. In the off chance that any of this was useful and not just amusing, why not support the charity on the link provided? As otherwise, Alex is going to have to start doing Civil War reenactments for the Roundheads, even though he's clearly a Cavalier.
That's a compliment. Cavaliers are by far the better social group.
Yeah,
a lot of them weren't even Charles I supporters, really. They were there because they were against the authoritarian proletariat.
You know what? I genuinely forgot that you would know about this and that you would actually be really interested in sharing your perspective. It was just a round-headed joke, which clearly has backfired. Anyway, as usual, if you want to get in touch, our Discord community is now nearing 1,000 people, which means people can then search for it. You can contact us on the socials, not the one if you're watching on YouTube, which we've got on the screen because it's changed to @the ADHD Adults, or by email, and we will be checking emails very soon. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye all.
Trigger warning, klaxon, klaxon, klaxon.